Turn it down. Turn it down. That's good.
All right. So
you are here with Brian and Joe. You're listening to Transparency and Merit. That's Brian. I'm Joe, JP. And we are joined with our friend Nick, one of our good friends. He has cerebral palsy, and he's an amazing dude. And I always give this guy a round of applause. So thanks for hanging out with us, Nick. You're welcome anytime to chill out with us.
He's a joy to be around, of course.
Oh, yeah, he always has a great attitude. Nobody likes to laugh more than Nick. Nick FM is his show. He plays music and all that. So tonight we are doing a Stoic Calm Brutal Honesty show. It's August 19th, 2021.
That is correct. And it is a lot of things happen in the news.
There's so much happening right now. I've mainly immersed myself in following the market, and that's because we are in a risk-on environment, and I don't know if we want to dive in that direction yet, but I do a financial show here for Transparency and Merit, and I'll be adding some more of those as we go along. I think right now is whether you're in the market or not, it's a very, very telling tale of how the world is working. There is endless. It's a lifelong study. How about that? You can never run out of angles and paths to go down and research in the ever changing corporate landscape. It is quite a thing. But before I totally digress and go down that road, I did get a new headset. I'm loving it. It really frees me up. I feel like I don't have to be pinned to my computer. I can kind of move around a little bit and all that. So I enjoy it, and it's not. I thought it'd be like a lot, like really hot on my ears, but it's really comfortable, and I like hearing myself speak for a change. So, anyways, Brian, where are you at? What's your deal for tonight? What are there any news stories in particular?
Well, we're still dealing with the fallout of Afghanistan, and On Twitter, we have Trump was right, impeach Biden-Harris now. And
I've heard that rumor, or that kind of sentiment more in the last couple of days. It was a little shocking. I can't say I'm totally surprised, but I'm a little surprised.
yeah, I mean, he's a very divisive figure. There are people that love him, and there are people that hate him, and then there are people like you and me that I don't think we see him as a god or a savior, but he's just a man, he's just a man or a human being like anybody else who's in a very powerful position. And the way I see it is, he was a powerful person. As of now, he's been stripped of a lot of his power, and we don't know what the future holds. But right now, he's stripped of his power. The leftist establishment has a lot of power as of now, and they don't. They're not. I don't think they're that popular, but they do have power. I mean, for example, the ADL holds a lot of power over social media, but it's not. I don't think it's popular. As a matter of fact, on their YouTube page, they have to hide their dislike to like ratio because they're so unpopular. And I don't know if it's just the internet that is, putting this kind of thing up and making this thing very clear that the people in power don't want public scrutiny and want to hide from public scrutiny. But that's the way it seems today. A lot of people in power, they have a lot of ideas, but they don't want to really put them up to public scrutiny. And it does anger me, but nobody wants, for the most part, I guess I could be the same way because I wouldn't want to be criticized either. I want to see part of myself in this kind of thing. It is really disheartening and it's dishonorable, but there for the grace of God go on. I could be dishonorable and unnoble as well, and I've done things that are dishonorable and unnoble. So, I have to kind of, on my intellectual side, I'm like, yeah, people don't want to be criticized. They want their ideas just obeyed, and I've been that way before, and sometimes I still get that way. So that's the way it is as of now, and things can always change, but as of now, the unpopular have a lot of power. And unpopular ideas have a lot of power as well.
Yeah, I heard that on the Joe Pags show.
Interesting.
Another show said that? You have anything to add, Joey?
No, keep going, man. Like where you're going.
No, I was just going into, and High Ridge Estate says no one likes Joe Biden, and I think he is very unpopular as of now.
That wasn't the case last year. That was not the case, and things have changed very quickly. I wonder. I can't believe there is already talk of impeachment or whatever they're asking him to. I don't know what they're doing. I mean, it's just rumors right now. But wow, a huge. I mean, considering what's going down here, there's nobody that could get in there and pose as the boss and pull it off. There's too much going on, and so much division. It's quite a thing, but imagine that. Imagine that the Democrats are even jumping over the aisle and speaking out against Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. And it didn't matter if you're a left or a right or Democrat, Republican, whatever you are. It doesn't matter. It's awful. It's pathetic. And is he even a real man? Is he alive? Is he a masked up character? I don't know what we're looking at, but this guy is weird. He doesn't say anything presidential. He doesn't carry himself like a president, if there is such a thing. And I don't know. It's because the Mike isn't happy with his pullout. The MIC. What is that? Military Industrial Complex, I guess. With his pullout. He did something that I thought was kind of laughable too. About a week ago, he he went to OPEC, right, Brian? You know the story. Went to OPEC and he said, "Hey guys, why don't you produce more oil?" And crude oil, is the lifeblood of the military-industrial complex. I just get the feeling like he got laughed out of the meeting. I just what we've seen though, there may have been some sort of, I don't know, negotiations, because in the last week, prices of oil, at the pump, the prices haven't really gone down yet, but the stocks have all taken a hit. And when that happens, if these if the crude on the market starts going down, I'm sure we're going to see some sort of an event. I don't know what it will be, but it'll be some sort of event that will get the price of crude up. Now, a lot of people in the know will tell you straight up the true value of crude is probably in the area of $20 a barrel. But you have major banks making predictions that crude will hit 100 a barrel. And at the pumps, we're paying $4.15 or something here in California, where we're taxed out of our nuts. So we're paying a heck of a lot of money at the pump. It's a little bit of a mystery, but I think right now we're doing a little bit of a correction going on in the market. Maybe I think that crude will hit make a new low, and it'll shoot back up again. And who knows what else will go down. The military-industrial complex relies on it. So, anyways, that's just my. I keep diving back into the financial shit.
Also, we do have a governor's race. The recall of the governor is coming up, and they are holding this election, and they are really starting the smear machine on Larry Elder, and I'm not going to get into that now. But
you got. What are they saying about Elder?
Well, there is an article about I guess his I don't know if it was his fiance, but his ex-girlfriend is saying that he pulled a gun on her. But again,
wow.
This is not substantiated. And why would she say this now and not during the time that it happened?
Why now?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So people are making things up out of thin air. I mean, there are things he said that could probably damage him if if they get to the emotional part, because hey man, Larry Elder has spoken adamantly that he was not in favor. He thought the 1964 Civil Rights Act was a bad idea, and because it went against the rights of private business, and it was kind of unconstitutional. And we're in that road today, and I think to a degree, the 1964 Civil Rights Act can be used to stop the censorship of speech. I think there is a case to be made that this is an open platform, open to the public, and you only go. I mean, the truth is, it is discriminatory what they're doing, because they only go after. They only enforce the rules for whites and people of European descent primarily, and other racial groups are allowed to say and do things that other groups are not, and that seems to be against the 1964 Civil Rights Act. I could be completely wrong on that, but that's the way it looks to me. And this. I mean, I think most people are not in favor of the way social media companies censor, but maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I heard like 50% of Americans now favor censorship. So it's kind of iffy.
It's we are kind of reaching fever pitch with censorship. It's insane. The dialogue out there right now is, man, I could tell you some stories just from today. Just how dogmatic things have gotten. I'll tell you a quick story. I saw a friend of mine today, an old friend, somebody I've known since I was in boy, I want to say junior high school. And anyways, we're hanging out, and he asked me if I've taken the jab, which I think now is kind of a social faux pas to begin with. Mm-hmm. But he knows my stand anyways. And he went into this huge pitch. He went into a whole pitch about why I should get it. And it was a little frustrating, and I didn't want to, I'm really choosing my battles wisely. So I kind of just nodded, and I said, I'll look into it. But that's I've looked into it, and it was just it was filled with so much dogma and fear, and I worry about you. Got emotional. I worry about you, and I know because you don't have it, you're gonna get it's like a pneumonia now, and instead of healing in a day or two, you could be sick for 3 weeks, and on and on and on he went. And I just sat there and weathered it. I wasn't silent. I just didn't want to. I didn't want to fight about it, and I'd already stated my position to him and another time we talked. So I just and let me just say this, man. It wasn't the only time it happened today. It happened again with somebody else later on in the day, and I almost lost it. Almost. I just had to get a grip and remember I gotta love everybody, and you and I have different views on it. I have a different view on it. That's all. So a lot of this stuff that's happening online, it just doesn't seem to want to translate when it's when people are in your face, and it's quite a difficult bargain here. It is it's going to get worse. It's going to get even worse. And nobody should tell me what the hell to do with my own body, for one. Thank you, Nick. Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Not a real president to me.
Yeah. A lot of
I
people
guess,
feel that way.
and by the way, I wonder what's going on with OnlyFans. I'm gonna look that up on Twitter. OnlyFans.
What about it? So here's a comment. Brian hates equality. I don't know how anyone. Well, I wonder. I'm not sure what. I guess
I don't.
I'm not sure what he's referring to.
Although I don't believe that equality exists.
That's a good take.
Equality is a myth.
One thing I do like, though, Brian, and I think it's kind of more of a it's happening more often now, and that's like you were saying a moment ago about one of the stories. You just said that you questioned it right off the bat, and that's the key right there. Whether a story is substantiated in the media or not, or it's healthy. It's healthy, and it's absolutely our duty to not just read and accept everything that we see, especially on the internet, but wherever it is. If you're still reading a newspaper, if you're going to get a donut and the person at the counter tells you something, it is our duty to be able to question and not just jump in the passenger seat and go along for the ride. These days, it is absolutely essential and vital that people look inwards. They take in information as an observer, and they don't twist language that's already been twisted up enough. But you just want to make sure that you're not acting and behaving based on what you hear and read, but concentrating and having a clear. I don't know. I don't even know exactly what I'm saying here, but it's important to have try to take some subjectivity out of it and look for some objectivity and all that sort of thing. Anyways, I'm rambling.
Yeah, you are. But here's the thing, too, dude. I mean, sometimes there are no easy solutions, and yeah, there are no easy solutions, and there are trade-offs, and we have to be honest.
Okay, what did you find here? The OnlyFans. What are you talking about? Did something happen?
I could be wrong, but I'm hearing that OnlyFans that they stopped explicit content on OnlyFans. But you know what? I'm not seeing anything on Twitter or anything like that. And I'll go over that later. I'll do a whole thing on OnlyFans and like how the back page was also removed as well. So there's a lot of people trying. They want moral things, and there's a whole thing with sex trafficking and morality in general. And society has controlled sexual morality for a long time. I used to be like avidly against it, but primarily it was because I was a rather lustful person, which it's not the case anymore. And I kind of see things now as an older adult that I, as an older and more mature adult that I didn't see then. And I have a true difference of opinion today than I did back in the day. Yeah. OnlyFans is banning, yeah. And we can go into that later, Joe. I think,
Right on.
yeah, I think I want to call this one a little bit earlier, and I think we'll do a whole thing on OnlyFans.
Yeah. I just want to give the basics because it's already out there, and a lot of articles are already being written. The shift away from porn on the site comes amid pressure from banks. Interesting. All right. So yeah, we've got a show here for sure.
Bank of America has done some stuff. They've done some really far leftist stuff as well, and yeah, I think things are good to talk about. The oligarchies and stuff who believe they know what's best for everyone. They want to control speech, and the first pressure on the first people to pressure social media on censorship were these large corporations and these banks. And I heard someone say that communism was started by the big banks. Could be wrong on that, but it was given power by the big banks. And there's a real kind of oligarchy system that believes they know what is right for everybody. They know what you should and shouldn't hear, and it's kind of scary. And whether it's big business having control or big government, these are things that we don't want. These things were open, big platform that we could challenge mainstream thought, and mainstream thought said, you know what, we don't like you challenging us. We're not going to debate you or debunk you. We're just going to shut you down. We're just going to censor you, and you're not going to have these tools to come at us anymore because these things were gaining popularity. And that first started to happen, I think, around 2013 or 14. I don't know what year the ad apocalypse happened, but I think we need to do a whole thing on when the censorship really began to happen on social media and when the rumblings of it began. I mean, like there was rumblings, and then because the first attempt was the ad apocalypse, and then they just further and further tightened their screws on what you're allowed to hear and what you're not allowed to hear. And yeah, it's unfortunate. And I say this continually, the age of information is now the age of censorship and punishment. And this is done by both the corporate elites and America. And they cite conspiracy theories and hate speech.
Interesting, too, while all this is happening, one of the most popular things that I've seen happen time and time again is companies releasing transparency reports, which is something that was not common before we had started the Transparency and Merit show, by the way. I'll just throw that out there. And this whole thing with OnlyFans arose out of their first transparency report, which came out in July. And so a lot of this stuff, the stories that are being written now are a result from the transparency report. So I don't know. I'm not saying we had a hand in more and more companies and corporations posting transparency reports, but the timing is a bit spurious.
I'll tell you something, Joe. There are a lot of companies that are transparent, but a lot of companies are not transparent. And these are very large companies. They're affecting policy. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if that's really good for open dialogue and open societies. Anyway, there is a big difference. There's censorship on one end, and then this idea of transparency on the other. I think we're going to have to step in and evaluate where merit
comes into play. But let's take it out if you got to go.
Well, you can't have merit without transparency, and you can't have censorship. You can't have transparency with censorship. Censorship denies transparency. It denies clarity, and it denies transparency. With that being said, like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and visit our website, transparencyandmerit.com. Thank you for
Thanks for joining us, Nick.